go into prison. You become a murderer. Whether you did the murder or you watched the murder, you are a murderer. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. And what I'm seeing in the newspaper that is so disturbing to me is they're blaming all the kids in this city. All the kids. Okay? We need basketball, we need this. You don't need basketball with these kids. These kids are going beyond basketball, baseball, and football, like I said in track. Like I said in my article. I said, track is good. I used to like track as I ran from the cops with the wind blowing in my hair when I was young. Oh, yeah, that's what I needed track for.
I read that.
Okay. When I was a baseball player, I really needed a lot of practice with the bat when I broke legs for loan sharking.
Right.
Okay, and that's where I got my baseball. And when I was a football player, I learned how to straight arm too, really good when you were running. That you folks haven't got this together. You haven't got this together, and this is a shame. I listened to, God bless him, Reverend Heislop, minister of the Trinity Missionary Baptist Church, who I would think would have had some understanding of the children who were involved. Right. However, he doesn't seem to understand why they did this.
Nope.
And you know what? I can understand why he didn't understand. Because he's a black man who didn't grow up as one of my partners,
right,
like Arnie Coles or as I said, Ralph Ham or other guys, my associates and partners. He grew up and became a minister.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell does he know anything about gangs and kids in gangs?
Nope.
No offense.
None.
And Mr. Bassetto, I read about Mr. Bassetto. He blames Chief Ackley, Margaret Ackley, for the. I mean, I never seen anything so stupid in all my life. And he's going to run for mayor.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's going to run for mayor that blames the police department for the murder of young Mr. Chu. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. This is senseless. Even that statement is ridiculous. Ridiculous. To say it's the police's fault? You gotta be kidding me. Are you people that stupid? The police? Please. Of course, Mr. Bassetto probably wasn't in the gangs.
Probably not.
He's probably not a bad guy. He probably doesn't know what it is to stick a gun down somebody's throat or be violent. He probably doesn't understand that or how you get to that point. Doesn't understand how you can get angry when somebody pushes you in a barroom and take a chair and going to break their heads.
True.
I know a guy who used to do stuff like that.
I do too.
But I also know a guy that recently went down the street and was basically chastised and attacked because of somebody not understanding your situation.
Exactly.
Okay, and she tried to intimidate you. 6'5", right? Tried to intimidate you, and you did the right thing. You went and got the police. Okay, and we went and got involved with this person. Okay, because most people know that Bobby's crime. We had some lady run around here for years saying
he
was a sex offender in the sense of a sex offender that molested children. That is absolutely not true. It absolutely has nothing to do with your crime. And we have done shows where we talked about your crime would be called a domestic violent crime.
We did 2 shows last year, matter of fact.
On your crime, which was. Do you mind? You
don't
mind me saying? Was related to a gay situation and your boyfriend.
True.
Who was older than you and was going to try and beat you up.
Exactly.
And he lost.
Exactly.
Okay. So most people
most people don't know.
Most people don't know that, and they see this because you tragically 25 years ago, or more than going on, but
oh God,
more than 30 years ago now, get you on that stupid register, and you're jammed there for life.
Because we're in 2010 now.
Yeah.
And the last conviction was in '89, so.
So I mean that's horrible. But anyways, I just wanted to say that even you at your size has gotten harassed.
Oh yeah.
In fact, the same individual that harassed you then tried to run me down with a car.
True.
And then we got the police, and the police dealt with that because they thought they were bad, and they ain't bad.
Nope.
And the police figured they better protect them because I can be a little nutso, obviously, and can react in a real negative way when I get threatened. I don't like to be threatened by anybody, and that's probably from my gang experience. Okay, over the years, but. Have this situation here, as I said, I talked about Mr. Hyslop not understanding, okay, which is rightfully so.
True.
Mr. Brisetto, who I am absolutely, I mean, that's an absolute outrageous statement, and he said it because he's naive and has no understanding.
Right.
And then I got another guy in there, was Rob Perot, bless you, Rob, and everything else like that. None of these, and Marty Olson I seen in the paper, of all people. I mean, if the city and the people of New London want these folks to be dealing with gang violence, you've got to be crazy. None of these people understand gang violence. None of these people understand these kids. They don't understand why these kids are doing this. They don't come from the situation these kids come from. They just don't. The kids said they did it because they were bored. They didn't do it because they were bored. They did it because they're vicious little rugrats. That's why. They're nasty kids that have grown up in a situation where they either got what they want, or they got spoiled, or they didn't have to perform, and they have no moral conscience, and they got together and they perpetuated a vicious criminal act. These are not kids that go to dances and baseball games and are going to go to the boys club. If they go down there, if they go down to those places, they're going there
to terrorize
all the other kids. These are bad kids. And they're not kids. They're 17 years old. These are young adults. These ain't kids. Kids are 10, 8, 9, 10, 11 maybe. 12, 13, 14, you ain't kids anymore like we were kids. You are starting to move into teen years where they're all sexually active, where they have no respect for their family, adults in any way. These young adults are lost. When you're writing in the paper and about all these, these 6 or 7, they're lost.
Yeah.
You know where they're going?
Prison.
And they're going to be hanging around the block. And if you're in prison now watching me, because some of you might be, you're going to be bent over something and somebody's going to be jamming something up your rear. Because you're cute. You can bet your life, unless, you know what they're going to do?
What?
In prison? What are they going to do? They're frightened outside, so they got a gang.
They'll join the gang inside.
They'll join a gang inside, right? Isn't that what's going to happen? They're going to join a gang inside and probably further their viciousness as they grow. Except one of their friends will probably be homosexual and take care of them anyways in the gang thing, right? Okay, so that's where the 6 or 7 are on their way to. Now, my concern, really, there's nothing you can do about that 6 or 7. When they get in there, they can deal with my other friends who are into prison rights and maybe changing you and stuff like I've done for 45 years, and it'll take them 25 years to straighten out. It'll take them at least 17. It took them 17 years to get to the point where they were little murderers. It's going to take them another 17 years to maybe change somewhat. Believe me. Sorry to all you mothers and fathers that are the parents of those kids, but you got a lifetime of that's what's going to happen to those kids. I can guarantee it. I'm like Nostradamus. I can